Hey, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Nisi, aka the Ebony Traveler. So first things first, I'm the realest. I want to show you guys my shirt because it's actually dope AF. Let's see if you guys can see it. Yes, this is all my natural hair, and no, you can't touch this, only admire it. Okay, so we're gonna jump right into the video today, and as promised, I will be responding to the 3 advice messages that I received, the messages requesting advice, whichever way that goes. I'd like to say thank you to everyone who submitted questions for my last video, and if you watched my last video, thank you so much. So let's read the first message. The first message is as follows. What do you do if your boyfriend won't communicate with you when situations occur? Let that man go. No, I'm playing. Communication is a really big thing in relationships. I'm pretty sure most people would agree, hopefully all people would agree, that in order to have an effective relationship, you have to be able to communicate. And if one person, let's say you have an argument and one person doesn't want to speak to the other, you're not able to resolve the problem. You're not able to move forward. You're not able to grow as a couple, and that's problematic. In this situation, it kind of comes down to letting the person know how you feel. And I know how hard that is because I've been in situations like this. It's because I'm more of an action person. Like once it happens, I prefer to talk it out as opposed to letting that person sit for 2 days. And some people may not agree with that. And I'm not saying that everyone should operate the way I do. Even if that person needs 2 days, let's say boyfriend needs 2 days to cool down, or he needs a day to cool down, it might be annoying, but I feel like that should be communicated. So if they're ignoring you, I would definitely, I'd probably send a message saying, hey, I think we should talk this out, whatever the case is, hit me up when you're ready. But when they do come to you, don't tiptoe around it. Address the problem. Let them know that when you guys do have these arguments, or when you guys do have a problem, or when something goes down, this whole ignoring thing is not gonna fly. It's not okay, because in a relationship, both people should feel comfortable, and sometimes you do have to compromise. If they say to me, Shanice, I need a day, I have to be able to understand that. But they've met me halfway by communicating that with me. So honestly, what I would do in this situation is, hopefully they're speaking to you by now, and if they are, I would honestly have to sit down and have a conversation. I would advise you to have that conversation and say, hey, this is not okay. I don't like it when you ignore me for 2 days, or I don't like it when you cut me off and you don't let me know what's going on. I don't like that. I would appreciate if, you could communicate with me, even if it is to tell me that you just, you're not up to it right now. Communication is key in every relationship, just to keep the relationship moving and just to keep the relationship strong, And honestly, depending on how many times this has happened and how many times you've had this conversation, you might even want to sit down and really, think about where this relationship is going. Because if someone won't communicate with you, especially if communication is an essential thing for you, something that you need in a relationship, which I don't blame you for, because everyone needs communication, you really need to evaluate and see, is this where I want to be right now? I was in a situation where dude would turn off his whole wireless network, not even just turn off the phone. And that wasn't okay for me, because I'm sitting down there sweating for a day or two, and it's not fair. And to me, that's not a relationship. You don't respect me if you don't feel like I deserve at least a heads up on what's happening. So I guess just a summary. Once you do communicate with them, you need to have that conversation and let them know, yo, this isn't gonna work. This is not okay with me. You have to meet me halfway. At least let me know if you need that time. If it's happened multiple times, then it's up to you to kind of determine how far this relationship can go, the way that it's going, with the lack of communication, because communication is what? Key. So yeah, hopefully that helps you, and hopefully things work out. Thank you so much for submitting that question. Hopefully I was able to help a little bit. Question 2. How do you find motivation to do things that you don't want to do? And how do you get passion? With motivation, you kind of have to think of your end goal. Yeah, maybe in the moment you don't want to do that assignment. Maybe in that moment you don't want to get up and go grocery shopping. But you have to think about what the end result is. For example, if you're trying to meal prep, it's a Sunday, you don't want to get up out of your bed and go grocery shopping. If I go grocery shopping and meal prep today, I can relax for the rest of the week. Things will be easier for me for the rest of the week. I go grocery shopping, I bring the stuff back, I prep them, I cook them. Now I have meals for the remainder of the week, and I don't have to stress about it, because if you don't meal prep on the Sunday, then Monday you're gonna have to figure out something to eat for lunch and dinner. Tuesday, same thing. Do it in that exact moment. think about how much easier things will be for you. Just think about the end goal. Think of how prepared you'll be for the rest of the week, for the rest of the month, for the rest of the year, whatever the case is, if you just keep on pushing, you stay motivated. So have something very visual in front of you. So whether it be like a before and after picture, you know, a goal. A lot of people use like different celebrities as their goals, their fitness goals, whether it be on your screensaver, whether it be on your wall. Keep something visual. That will also motivate you. So maybe 2 ways you could stay motivated are just remembering your end goal, but not only remembering your end goal, having a visual representation of that end goal, and I'm pretty sure like you'll get there. And in terms of passion, when you find passion and you find something that you love, passion isn't something that should be hard to maintain. If you have a passion for something, that means that it's something that you love to do. So hopefully that helps. I thank you so much for submitting that question. I'm pretty sure you've helped a couple other people. Okay, and this is the last question I like. So this question is, hi Nisi, my question is, a great guy I like and was seeing has a lot going on. Family member isn't doing so well and he has to leave the country, then come back, which I understand. And I agree that we should hold off being in a relationship until he gets back. I tried keeping calling and texting to a minimum, and I tried only asking him to go out with me once a week. And I made sure to be considerate if he needed to cancel. But I didn't want to be intimate without being in a relationship. Kind of telling him we should slow things down. He got a bit upset, saying I was confusing and taking things away from him that he didn't want at first. It hurt a lot, and now I'm wondering if I was wrong. This was my first time liking a guy, and sometimes I get caught up in the moment. I didn't mean to make things harder for him. Was I being a tease? He's saying I'm stressing him out. I want to wait for him till he comes back, but I'm also hurt. I've never been this vulnerable with someone. I'm confused. So thank you so much for your question. There's definitely a lot happening here, but the first thing I kind of want to tell you to stop doing, or advise you to stop doing, I should say, is to stop blaming yourself. From what I'm seeing, you're a very compassionate person, you're a very caring person, and you've been doing your best to help this person out, to make this situation a bit easier. You know what I mean? You're trying not to get in the way, you're not being selfish. You've even, you know, said you're understanding if he can't see you. You're not texting or calling too much to give them their space, which is completely understandable. Now, the part where you said that you don't want to be intimate without being in a relationship, and you have to slow things down, you're not wrong for that, because at the end of the day, yes, he's going through a lot, but that doesn't mean that he can use you as a physical outlet, if you get what I'm saying. So what it sounds like is he's going through a lot, he's stressed out, and now all of a sudden he wants to become intimate with you. And sometimes when people are that emotional, their judgment's really clouded, and they just want an outlet. And you don't want to be that physical outlet, especially if it's not something that you want to do. Even if it was something that you wanted to do, if you were able to tell that they were only doing this to try and escape the situation that they're currently in, it's not a positive thing. And it's okay for you to pump the brakes. So no, you weren't being a tease whatsoever. You guys were going perfectly fine without doing anything, without being physical with each other, like without having sexual intercourse, I'm assuming is what's happening here. And you're not wrong. You have your standards, stick to them. You don't want to do it till you're in a relationship, and he's not ready to be in a relationship. You're understanding of that, and he in return needs to be understanding of you. And when you're asking to slow things down a bit and he's getting upset, I don't want to tell you to be angry at him. I don't want to tell you to walk away from the situation, because I can tell from what you're saying that mentally there's a lot going on with him. But you're giving him the space that he needs right now, and hopefully when he comes back, you can revisit that conversation. Let him know how you felt about it. Don't shy away from that. Let him know how you felt about it, and let him know that you're sticking to your guns in terms of, if we aren't in a relationship, I'm not doing this with you. I would keep my eye on it, because, you know, he kind of showed you his colors. Remember that when you're in relationships, it's important to acknowledge the other person's feelings, but acknowledge your own feelings too. Don't ignore what your body's telling you. Always be in tune with it, and you're allowed to feel hurt, and you're allowed to talk about it, and remember that. So have that conversation once things cool down, once he's back, once he's ready. Have that conversation, but don't give in just because he is getting upset. I think you guys both need some space, especially since you said you're feeling very vulnerable. And that is one of the hardest things about relationships. you have to allow someone in. You have to open yourself up in an emotional sense, and it's hard to do that because you can't trust everybody. But clearly you and this person have built some sort of relationship. You guys have built that level of trust, hopefully, and hopefully you can come back from this. If not, you know what, you come first. Just remember that, because there's no point in giving up parts of yourself for someone that doesn't respect your decisions, you know? Remember that you are important as well, and as much as he's going through a lot, try not to take everything onto yourself. So hopefully that helps. I wish you the best of luck in handling that situation. Feel free to send me an email follow-up if you want, letting me know how it turned out, or don't send me one. It's your personal business. I just want to thank everyone who did send in their questions, asking for advice and whatnot. And hopefully I was able to help you guys. I'm thinking of starting a new little segment on my channel, maybe something called Nisi Knows It. Obviously I've been thinking about it because I have a name. If you guys would be interested in that, give this video a thumbs up. Feel free to send me your questions and I'll be willing to give you guys advice. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you liked it, make sure you hit that subscribe button below if you haven't hit it already. Follow me on Instagram and Snapchat at NisiB. And as always, it's peace, it's love, and it's annyeong.